Hi, I'm Lisa Loeb, and you're watching Live at Club Cafe, the next stage in live music. Oh,
Tonight on Live at Club Cafe.
And I do.
The Grammy-nominated, multi-platinum selling artist, Lisa Loeb.
A lot of success in my life comes from the satisfaction of writing music, of doing different projects, of being able to go on the road and play in front of people. Even though it might not always be on the highest level, you know, it might not be in front of thousands and thousands of people, I still get to play music in front of people who want to be there.
Plus, Charlie Hunter. He is a pioneer and he preaches unity and inclusion in the fractious world of jazz.
I think that everyone has their own interpretation. It's like Christianity. All the different sects have sometimes extremely opposing views of pretty much exactly the same thing.
Two great artists in one great night. So sit back, because you're watching Live at Club Cafe, the next stage in music. Hi, I'm Mara McFalls, and we're coming to you tonight from Bedford Square in Pittsburgh Southside. Now, kicking off tonight's show, we've got Lisa Loeb. And most of you probably remember this bespectacled indie star from her early hits like Stay and I Do. And back in the 90s, she really set the pace for indie music when they first coined the phrase Generation X. And since then, she's been enjoying a long and creative career, producing and starring in television shows, acting in movies, and of course, making music. And tonight, we are proud to bring you Lisa Loeb, live at Club Cafe.
This isn't what I like to call flattery, but I know that I believe that I found what's true, that I found what's you. And truthfully, I'm finding finally, and truthfully, you helped me find it last. Truthfully, we are finding out what's true. Truthfully, I'm finding out what's you. I got into music when I was born. You know, my dad's a doctor, but he loves playing piano, and there was so much music in my house growing up. It turned out my older brother's a classical pianist and a conductor. My little brother's an audio engineer. My little sister writes music. We all just grew up with so much music around us. And I was always really intrigued by the creative process of writing. I was a dancer, I'm an actor. It was just always part of my life. I didn't come this far for you to make this hard for me. Now you want to ask me how. It's like, how does your heart beat? And why do you breathe? How does your heart beat? And why do you breathe?
When Lisa graduated from Brown University, she headed straight to New York City to play music. And after only a few years, her neighbor, Ethan Hawke, opened a door that would lead her straight to a Grammy-nominated, multi-platinum hit.
Ethan Hawke and I were friends. We'd met through some other actor friends that I went to college with at Brown University. And there was sort of an art community happening in New York in the early 90s. It was actors and people who wrote plays and musicians, and we all supported each other. I wrote music for Ethan's theater company. He and his friends came to see all my shows. Like, it was a real community. And at a certain point, Ethan asked for a copy of my song Stay, because it was one of the songs I played a lot in concert, and everybody always requested it. And we had just made a recording of it, so we gave him the recording. And he passed it along to Ben Stiller, who decided to put the song into the movie Reality Bites. You say I only hear what I want, or I don't listen hard, don't pay attention to the distance that you're running, to anyone, anywhere. I don't understand. If you really care, I'm only hearing naked, no, no, no back. So I turn the radio on, I turn the radio up, and this woman was
song. Lovers in love and the others run away. Lover is crying cause the other won't stay. Some of us hover and we weep for the other who was dying since the day they were born. Well, this is not that thing that I'm thrown, but I'm thrown. And I thought I'd live forever, but now I'm not so sure. You try to tell me that I'm clever, but that won't take me anyhow or anywhere with you. You said that I was naive and I thought that I was strong. Oh, I thought, hey, I can leave, oh. Now I know that I was wrong, cause I missed you. Yeah, I missed you.
10 years, 4 albums, and another Grammy nomination later, Lisa teamed back up with her college roommate for a different kind of project, a collection of children's music called Catch the Moon.
One of the reasons I wanted to do it was because there were records I listened to growing up that I didn't really understand were kids' records. You know, they sounded like the production of the era in the 70s, you know, like a Carole King record, I think it was called Really Rosie, and a record called Free to Be You and Me. And it had songs that were just, maybe the song topics were a little bit more geared towards imagination and children, but they sounded like regular recorded albums. And I wanted to do something like that. So I'm glad we were able to actually go in there, and especially I think with Liz. I think if it were just me, I have a tendency to go more musical theater and like kind of spastic and too much energy and kind of annoying, you know? And so it was nice to work with Liz, who had made records for her own daughter that were very hushed. You don't want to wake the baby in the next room, you know?
Butterfly, close your eyes, butterfly. Fold your wings, dream sweet dreams, butterfly.
Fresh off the success of Catch the Moon, Lisa returned to her musical roots and released her latest album called The Way It Really Is.
A lot of the songs were actually written about movie scripts, about plots from movies. They sound like they're about my life, and they sound really personal, and I'm sure I draw from my own experience, but really they're based on a lot of other people's stories. Like the song I Control the Sun and Window Shopping were written about soundtracks where a guy is sort of not settling down, not committing. The girl wants to control the guy. You know, they're kind of common themes in life, relationship songs.
I control the sun, I turn on the stars, I make all the colors that you see as you circle me. I open up the sky, I control the speed, I can make the green lights flash, I can make it crash. Barely makes a sound. You stop when you slow down, but I can't make you see things the way I see things. I can't make you feel things the way I feel them. I can't wait around for you, I've got better things to do. 'Cause I control the sun, I cool down the heat, I can make the walls spin around, erase the ground. I control the world, I can make it flat, I can make the water deep so I can save you from the sea.
You can't second guess what people are going to like all the time. So for me, it really comes from what do I want to make, you know, what do I want to do? And so it's more of a positive challenge than it is a negative pressure to create.
Everybody go, the party's over. I wanna be alone in my head in my bed tonight. You never show. You must really love her. You think I don't know, but I do. Yeah, it's true. I think over is over. I'm right back where I started. When it comes to wanting you, I can't have what I wanted. But I did, I can, I was, I am only human, living, dying, just like any fool who ever breathed. If love is blind, if love's a always is, it always wasn't. Love was surely made for fools like me.
It's funny, I know I write these songs, everyone's like, oh, you know, my heart is broken. It sounds like your heart's broken. I'm like, no. Sorry. I'm just making stuff up. Sorry.
Lisa's latest CD, called The Way It Really is in stores now. If you want to find out more about Lisa and her music, you can go to our website at clubcafelive.com. And now stay tuned, all you guitar lovers, because coming up next is jazz pioneer Charlie Hunter. And later on in the show, his songs have graced the soundtracks for The O.C. and Garden State. We have a special archive performance from Alexi Murdoch. You're watching Live at Club Cafe.
Live at Club Cafe is powered by Comcast and sponsored by Budweiser True Music and Saturn of Wexford, Saturn of West Liberty, and Saturn of Pleasant Hills.
Welcome back. Our next guest for tonight's show is the Charlie Hunter Trio. Now, it's a jazz trio, but it sounds more like a quintet or a sextet because Charlie plays an 8-string guitar. So he can play the lead and the bass guitar simultaneously. And then with effects, he brings in Hammond B3 organ sounds and enough funky wah-wahs to mix it up. There really is nobody else like him. And tonight we are proud to bring you Charlie Hunter, live at Club Cafe.
Well, I just was really a voracious record listener, and I spent a lot of time at the Berkeley Public Library checking out the records that they had there. And when I had finished checking out and kind of transcribing all of the, you know, the Jimi Hendrix and Albert King and B.B. King and all that kind of thing, and the Beatles and all that stuff, then I was like, well, what's after this? And there was a Charlie Christian record. Someone said you should check this guy out. So I checked him out, and I was like, oh wow, I can almost understand this. Let me try to figure this out. And that just led to me delving deeper and deeper into checking out more and more records. The guitar is an instrument that's like kind of the everyman's instrument. Anyone can build a guitar out of a box and a neck and whatever you have that can vibrate as a string. Anyone can do it. So guitar is really the do-it-yourself instrument of the world. There's some pedagogy for various different kinds of playing it, but the most part, you can do whatever you want with it. It's kind of like you can play chords, strumming junkie style, or you can, you know, play incredibly complex things on it or not. It's kind of an open-faced sandwich. You can do with it what you will.
What Charlie decided to do with it was invent something never seen before. He added 2 strings, an extra pickup, and a crazy set of pedals to create his signature sound.
I just had an idea that I wanted to put together an instrument that had all of the elements that I liked about the guitar and the bass, and also the drum set because of the rhythmic counterpoint you have to achieve when you're doing that. So I just kind of conceived of it, and it's slowly evolving and it's kind of changing as time goes by.
Stick around because we have more from Charlie Hunter coming up next, and still to come, Alexi Murdoch. You're watching Live at Club Cafe.
I just try to do whatever feels is a natural and honest progression for me, you know, and I don't want to do something when it's past its sell-by date, you know. I don't want to force anything to work. And most of the bands I've had, you know, when it reaches its pinnacle, I'm like, okay, we've reached the top of that, let's do the next thing, you know. But with these guys, it's nice. And it's, you know, I'm getting older now as well, so I have a different trajectory, you know, and it's nice to investigate the music with these guys and develop a sound. Most of what we do is improvise, so it's nice to have guys who can, you know, it's like three guys driving a Volkswagen Bug together, you know, one guy's doing the steering wheel, another guy's got the gas and the clutch, and another guy's got the gear shift, and it's nice to be able to develop a symbiosis, to be able to negotiate the daily traffic together. Ultimately, it's all about trying to reach community on a real level and make people feel like there's a connection outside of the daily kind of rigmarole that we all find ourselves in.
Charlie Hunter's latest CD is called Steady Groovin', and it's in stores now. If you want to find out more about Charlie or Lisa Loeb, you can go to our website at clubcafelive.com. But first, it's time to check out this week's Buzz. We are back for this week's Buzz, where we bring you some of the freshest music that's in stores now. Let's go check some out. First up is the new one from Ben Folds of the Ben Folds 5 fame. He's gone solo, but he still brings us that trademark piano and falsetto sound on his latest release, Songs for Silverman.
27 years and nothing but failures and promises that I couldn't keep. Oh Lord, I wasn't ready to go.
And switching gears to the land where country meets punk rock, Ryan Adams is back with a new one called Cold Roses. And straight out of Copenhagen, the Ravenettes deal out a second dose of hipster garage rock on their second CD, Pretty in Black. And Weezer is back. This time, Rick Rubin, the producer that helped steer Johnny Cash's comeback, has joined forces with the band on their new album called Make Believe.
I know you're the man, can't you say? I love you righteously.
And lastly, the legendary singer-songwriter Lucinda Williams puts out a live performance CD from a 3-night gig in San Francisco, and it's called Live at the Fillmore. Now this is just a taste of some of the new music that's out there, but if you go online to allmusic.com or iTunes, they can help tap you into some more, so go check them out. When we come back, we're going to dip into the Club Cafe archives for a special performance from Alexi Murdoch. We'll be right back.
This Buzz segment was brought to you by Saturn of Wexford, Saturn of West Liberty, and Saturn of Pleasant Hills. Saturn, people first. Budweiser True Music presents A Moment in Time from the Club Cafe archives.
And I had a dream I stood beneath an orange sky with my sister standing by. With my sister standing by. I say, here is what I know now, sister. Here is what I know now, goes like this. In your love, my salvation lies. In your love, my salvation lies. In your love, my salvation lies. In your love, in your love, in your love.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Now here's a preview of next week's show.
Your heart is in another place. I've come a long, long way. 3,000 miles.
That's our show for tonight, and I wanted to thank Kevin and all the guys at Cafe Allegro for letting us shoot here. I'm Mara McFalls. Thanks for watching.
Butterfly. Can you feel the sun warm on your face again? You will fly, spread your wings.